right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Exotic Astrology. Today I'm very excited to have Namanji with us. So, Namanji is the illustrious son of none other than Navneet Chitkara ji, and today he's here with us to explore a very interesting topic on which I personally don't have much knowledge, and that is Vastu. So, welcome to Exotic Astrology, and please tell us what would you like to discuss today about Vastu, career, or whichever aspect. Is it the theoretical aspect, practical aspect? The stage is yours. Welcome.
Hare Krishna, Babaji ji. It is a pleasure to be on your channel. Thank you so much for inviting me on your channel. I'm like very obliged to be here on the platform and share my views and express my views. How can Vastu help and how Vastu influences on your career? So today we'll start with the career. Okay, how can Vastu help you in your career? So definitely, see, Vastu, if we align it with astrology, right? If we take the inputs from astrology, it helps a lot. So taking inputs from astrology would, increase the accuracy of Vastu. So whenever I do Vastu, I do not use just the basic principles of Vastu. I always take the inputs from, Jyotish as well. So there is a concept of Ashtak Varga, which
Mm.
helps you a lot, when it comes to the Vastu. So, like Shani represents career, right? So, when we take Ashtak Varga, always, first of all, see, for working, you need a place to work. You need a, dedicated office so that you can work, right? So for selecting the ideal workplace for a person according to his birth chart, at that point, the Ashtak Varga score of Shani helps us. It is then when it comes to the play. All right. So career, it is represented by Jala Tattva in Vastu.
Okay.
See, Babaji ji, what is the most important aspect of career? It is opportunity.
Hmm.
See, if you will not have an opportunity, you'll not be able to flourish in your career. You'll not be able to excel. If you don't even have an opportunity, where and what would you work about? So, in building your career, the most important aspect is to get an opportunity, to have an opportunity. All right. Then, once you have the opportunity, to hold that, to grasp that opportunity, then it comes the fire element, the Agni Kona. So today I'll be discussing about the Jala Tattva, which includes the northern hemisphere, and then the Agni Tattva, which includes the southern hemisphere in the Vastu.
Okay.
So, since
Sorry to interrupt you. Your video is kind of frozen. I'm wondering why. Maybe there's some connection issue. I mean, I can hear you, but your video is a bit frozen. Okay. Now I
okay, is
can.
it all right?
Yes, yes. Now I can see you. And one thing I forgot to mention about you, you also do Vastu consultations. And so anybody is interested, please go to the website which he has. I will pin it down in the description section. And you also have a YouTube channel and a very good Instagram page where you keep posting like short videos. I have seen many of them. So please see it down in the description section and in the comments. Please continue.
All right. So as I was discussing, so North, which is responsible for the opportunities in your life. It brings opportunity. All right. So, in order to have those opportunities to grow, to flourish, your north should be perfectly balanced. So, north is all about Jala Tattva. In order to keep it balanced, there should be no Agni Tattva in the north element or the, northern hemisphere. So, wherever in your house, or specifically, we'll be talking about house here, because first things first. So when we do the vastu, we do the vastu for the house where a person lives in. So that is the most important part. Then we move on to his workplace, his office place. So number one, first priority should be given to the home of that person, the house of that person in which he is living in. All
Okay.
right. So the north direction of that house should be completely balanced. There should be no presence of Agni Tattva or the elements which represents the Agni Tattva. Now those elements are red color, orange color, maroon color, and then kitchen, fireplaces, having grillers, microwaves, boilers, or kitchens inside the north direction of your house can hamper the opportunities in your career.
Okay.
Okay, and even having washrooms. See, washrooms represents the disposal,
Ah,
the
yes.
flushing, right? So even having washroom in the northern directions of your house can hamper the opportunities that comes in your life.
Hmm.
All right, so there should be no washrooms, no copper material, and no heavy things. So, as per Vastu Shastra, as per the principles of Vastu Shastra, north element, the north direction should always be light. So, whenever we construct a home, we recommend our clients to keep the south heavy and the north light.
Okay.
All the elevations of the house should be towards the southern directions, and north should be empty. It should be light so that the opportunities can come in your life, so that you can grasp those opportunities and grow in your life. So
Hmm.
now we've balanced the north, all right? We have the opportunities coming towards our way. So now what next step is to grab and to hold on that opportunities. So I had some clients saying that, they get good job opportunities, or they get a lot of clients, but they're not able to convert into their sales, but they're not able to, pass their interview or clear their interview. So in that case, the south direction of the home is imbalanced.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So if a person is not able to hold on to an opportunity or to convert their leads or to convert their opportunities into sales, then it means the south directions of his home is imbalanced. There
Okay.
is the presence of Jala Tattva or other elements which destroy the south hemisphere or the Agni Kona. So Agni Kon, the south direction, is also represent it also represents the confidence, the fame in your life.
Okay.
So whenever, I want to check the career aspect, or, whenever a client wants me to, rectify the career issues in their life, so it is always the Jalatattva and the Agni Kona which needs to be balanced.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now when we talk about career, Babaji ji, there are various types of careers. All right. Some people are into manufacturing industries. They manufacture the goods and then they sell their goods into the different markets. And then it comes the service sector, like people like us, people like you, me, who provide online consultations, doctors, and online consultants, which are into the service sector. So for those people, which direction is most important to boost their career, to bring more clients? And then, there are teachers who teachers in the school, or teachers like us who teaches astrology. For those people, which direction is the most important to be taken care of?
Hmm.
And then finally, I would be talking about the people who are working in the government services.
Okay.
Like, if somebody is into the police department and somebody is linked to the government, what are all the directions that we need to take care of?
Okay.
All right. So first up, we'll start with the manufacturing industry. So, for example, somebody has a factory who's manufacturing different products. All right. For them, the north, 0 degree north, is the most important to bring more clients.
Okay.
Once the manufacturing is done, the product is ready. it is ready to be sent into the market. So for the most important part for them is to keep the ready stock into the northwest corner.
Okay.
So northwest corner, it represents movement. The planet which is associated in the northwest is moon.
Hmm.
So the ready stock, the element is the air. All right. So northwest represents movement. So whatever stays into the northwest, it does not stay forever. So once the stock is ready, all right,
Okay.
a businessman, a manufacturer would want their stock to go into the market.
Yeah.
So I always recommend my clients to keep the ready stock into the northwest corner of their factory. So I mean, all the godowns, the storerooms in which the stock is ready. So that stock is always kept into the northwest direction so that it can quickly go out and then, we replenish that.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Very good.
Okay, then when it comes to the people working in service sector, online consultancies, teachers, for those person, what is the most important thing? The mental clarity.
Hmm.
All right. Teachers, they need to be clear about the topics. They need to be clear about the lectures which they are going to teach their students. A consultant should have sharp clarity about the problems that a consultant is going to consult with. All
Correct.
right. So
Correct.
for that case, the northeast direction is the most important. So if you are into a consulting business, so if you are a teacher, if you are into a teaching business, so northeast is the direction that you need to take care the most.
Oh.
And Babaji ji, northeast direction is one of the most important directions of the Vastu Shastra. If
Hmm.
you look at the Vastu Mandala, in the northeast direction, it is the head of the Vastu Purusha. So
Okay.
if there is any Vastu dosha in northeast, the only remedy for that area is to remove it. So there is no remedy for northeast. So there are 3 points. It is an axis which is forming in Vastu Shastra from northeast to Brahmasthan to southwest. So it is a proper axis if you would look into the Vastu Purusha or the Vastu Mandala chart. So these 3 points in Vastu Shastra has no remedy at all. If
Oh.
any Vastu Shastri or any Vastu expert is giving you remedies for Northeast, or they're telling you to do certain remedies for your Brahmastan, they put some particular crystals or whatever they're doing, they're just making fool.
Oh.
So there is no remedy of Northeast, Southwest, and the Brahmastan. Even you should not even do such remedies, because these remedies, instead of working, they backfire.
So when you say there are like no remedies, like you have to just remove it. So for example, can you give some examples like for the Northeast, what could be problematic and what we could remove?
See, see, for the Northeast, Baba Ji, if you have a washroom over there, it is problematic. Right. If you have kitchen over there, it is problematic. Even in Vastu Shastra and even in my case studies, a lot of case studies, it is found that having a Vastu dosha, especially toilets or kitchen in Northeast, it brings cancer to
Oh,
people.
I see. Okay.
Even in the studies done by doctors, it was found that almost 95% of the cancer patients have, or they had, at some point in their life, they had washrooms in northeast.
Okay. Okay.
So as per ideal vastu, in northeast we always recommend it to keep it empty, to keep it open, airy, or the best part, make the temple in the northeast. It is the
Okay.
best. So
Okay.
if you have a washroom, if you have a kitchen, I personally say there is no remedy for that.
So then
See,
you have
your
to
life
like break
is
break the thing. There is no.
correct. Correct. So
Okay.
out of all the 16 directions, these two directions, northeast and southwest, I do not recommend any remedy for that. See, your life is much bigger than a washroom or a kitchen, right? So now it is, for your life is at stake here. So I do not give any remedy to any of my client in the northeast direction. If you have a Vastu dosha, the only remedy is to remove it.
Okay, and just
Vastu,
wondering, if just
yeah.
wondering if somebody has some problem in the Northeast and this is
Mhm.
not do this because we stay in a rented house, so then what should they do?
See, in case of washrooms, I always tell my clients to lock it completely. All right. So, for example, if you have a 3 BHK flat, like 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms,
Yeah,
there would be 2 washrooms only for you left. So, which you can use. But, if you're using the washrooms in Northeast, at some point of your life, even if you do the remedy, you're going to see the bad results of that washroom in that Northeast. It is going to give you a lot of health problems, a lot of problems in your thinking, your mind. See, Northeast is like moon. In astrology, we consider our mind with the moon, right? You see the
yes.
placement of moon in order to, judge, or in order to guess like how a person would be behaving. So in Vastu Shastra, Northeast is your mind. So
Okay.
whatever is happening in Northeast, so whatever element, is it an anti-element or a good element, is there in Northeast, that is how your subconscious mind is going to function. Your cognitive mind is going to function as per the element in the Northeast of your house.
Okay, so then my one question which I'm getting in my mind as of now. So suppose there is a person in his chart, moon is badly placed. So then does it like literally mean, or have you seen in your experience that such people always run to places where the northeast is bad?
Yeah, absolutely. See, Vastu Shastra, it works on the energy fields, right? So, for example, if there are 5 people in a house, all right, out of those 5 people, one person has a bad moon, right? An afflicted moon, which would give him a lot of mental turmoil.
Yeah,
But then other 4 members does not have it.
yeah.
Other all 4 members, they have good moon. All right. They don't have any, anxiety disorders or depressions or anything like that. All
Hmm.
right. In that case, we do not see any Vastu dosha in the northeast direction. So Vastu, it works as a whole, on a complete family. So Vastu is all about the energy fields, which is going into your subconscious mind, which is, going to work for your cognitive mind. So your cognitive mind is your subconscious mind. All
Okay.
right. So how are you going to think? How are you going to behave in a particular scenario is all dependent on your subconscious mind or your cognitive mind. All
Oh,
right. So it acts as a whole. If there are 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people living in a house, if the northeast of that house is not good, then everybody living in that house will lack the mental clarity they need in their life.
okay. Okay. So if a place has problem in the northeast, the whoever is staying in that house will have problems in their mental state.
Correct. Correct, absolutely. And even if you are in the teaching business or into the online services, then having a Vastu dosha in Northeast, it can seriously affect your careers.
Oh, I see. Okay. And I think,
Yeah, because in that sector, all we need is the mental clarity, no?
yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes. Okay,
If you
great.
don't have focus, if you don't have mental clarity, you'll not be able to work. It is going to directly hit your career.
Hmm. Correct, correct. So we did for the manufacturing and the consulting and the teachers, and for now for the government we will discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
for government services, see, what do you need? You don't need anything to manufacture. Okay. You do need some mental clarity, but still, what is the most important part of a government worker is the support from the government.
Hmm. Correct.
Out of all the directions, the 16 directions, the direction of support is known as Northwest.
Northwest. Okay. Okay.
Correct. So if you want to go into the government services, if you are preparing for a competitive exam to join into the government services, then in that case, you should have no Vastu dosha in the northwest of your house. If you have a Vastu dosha, then get it rectified, do the remedies for that Vastu dosha. See,
Okay.
and if you are already working as a government official, then I mean, in your office, in your house, one should always have the government emblem, the national emblem of that city, that state, that country in the northwest corner of your house and also in your office. So that what that would do is it would bring the support from the higher offices to you. So if you are, seeking a promotion, if you want a promotion in your life and you're not getting it, so in that case what we do is we enhance the northwest of that area so that you can get good governmental support from the higher offices.
Okay, so this will work not only for government, it will also work for corporate and any other job also.
Absolutely, absolutely. So even if you are in working into a corporate company and if you are at a lower level and you want promotions, you're working, for months and for years and you're not able to get promotion,
Yeah.
then I mean you need to check your northwest. There might be or there would be, a particular Vastu dosha in the northwestern area of your house.
Okay, okay. So now here I'm kind of getting a question. So suppose there's an employee who is in a company, corporate or government, let's take government. Uh, and then he has this thing good, okay, the Northwest. So then he may get support from his seniors, for example.
Mhm.
But what if, within his equals or within his juniors, there are some problems? So does this only ensure from the seniors or everybody around us or for others?
No, see, northwest is a direction of support. All
Okay,
right. So, wherever you need the support from, may it be your seniors, may it be your colleagues, or may it be the junior staff. All
okay.
right. When it comes to the support system, all
Mm,
right, the support system is managed by the Northwest.
okay. So
All
anybody
right, we are
senior,
not talking
junior.
about the relationship,
Okay,
the relationship of the juniors and seniors. We're not talking about that. We're
okay.
talking about the support system. So,
Mm,
for example, I would say, let's not talk about the careers for a minute. Let's switch into a normal household. Okay, for example, you need a loan from a bank, in order to construct your home, or for any personal reasons, you need a loan from a bank, and
yeah.
you're not able to get it. There are a lot of complications. The bank is not approving the file, the bank is not approving the papers, or there are various things which are not being approved. All
Mm,
right, so in that case you need support from banks, right? And that support is not able to come through your way.
okay,
That way is blocked because the northwest of that premises is not balanced. So once you balance the northwest of that area, that premises, the support, the way from where the support is coming, it will automatically open its doors. So
okay,
that is how northwest works. Northwest is completely a support system. So wherever in your career you need support. So I specifically mentioned the public services, the government services, because you always need the support from your higher offices, the higher subordinates in order for you to work, in order for you to grow, to excel, to have promotions. You cannot do it without the support of your higher officials.
okay. So now here, if somebody, as you said, this is for the home, but for somebody, if in the home it is good, in the office it is bad, or the other way around, office it is good, home it is bad. So then how does it work out in this case?
See, in the very beginning of this video, I told the first preference we will be giving it to the house where the
Yes,
person live.
correct.
Because, see, after all, the most of the life, the most of the time of that person, he's going to spend it in his house, right? So first and the foremost step is to get the Vastu done for your house and then move on to the workplace. See,
Okay.
once you balance the Vastu for your house, you will automatically see things having good impact or things turning out to be good in your office automatically. And doing the vastu of your office as well is like a cherry on the cake.
If in the house this is perfectly done, and if the person stays in the office for a very long time every day, like 12 hours, 10 hours, 14 hours, and in the office, if there is like a serious problem there, so what have you seen in this situation?
You mean when a person has to spend more hours of working in the office as compared to house, right?
Yeah, and in the office, the northwest is damaged. So then what
Mhm.
have you seen in your observation?
See, in that case, still I will be giving the first priority to that house,
Okay.
because house is where a person dwells, right?
Yeah,
He gets his nutrition from his house, he gets his family support from his house, he gets his love, and he gets his comfort in that house, right?
yeah,
Even after working for long, long hours, that person come back to the house to rest, to rejuvenate, and to be
correct.
ready for the next day. All right. So still, first and the foremost priority would be the house. And then absolutely, I'm not denying the fact that, we can ignore the fact that the northwest of the office is imbalanced. I mean,
Mm.
it is also very important, in to manage to balance the northwest of the office as well, so that, still that person does not lack any kind of support. See, if see, Vastu is meant to be I mean, Vastu is meant to ease out, people's problems. So definitely the northwest of the office is also very important to be balanced. But still, the first and the foremost priority is always the house, because house is the place where the person rejuvenates himself for, every day to work.
Okay, now regarding the house, let's assume the northwest is very good. So then the same rule will apply that for all the members, they will not have problems in getting help and support. It will apply to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Correct. I mean, if there are children, they want some support with their teachers or their parents or their siblings. I mean, they will always get the support easily. All right.
Okay.
So as I told, Vastu acts as a whole, right? Everybody in that family, everybody in that house, it will be impacted from the right as well as the wrong Vastu.
Okay, great. And now one is question is very important, I guess, and many people would like to know, like from the horoscope, how can we identify, like there are two things. One is the static, that there is some all vastu problem always by default, or a probability that the person may have a bad vastu always in his life, or dynamically, like sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad in his or her life. So what have you seen in that regards?
I didn't get your question.
So my question is, so let's talk the static part first. So like they talk of vastu dosh in the kundli, for example. So, what have you seen? What are some placements in the horoscope which can give some Vastu dosh? And does it happen like the second part of the question would be like, can it happen dynamically? Like, I have this dasha of this planet running, and then there could be a temporary Vastu dosh, which means I move to a place and there is a bad Vastu. So, kind of, can we correlate with the horoscope? I mean, if in case you have expertise on this, you can speak, or else if you feel astrology is like not your cup of tea, then we can talk something
Uh,
else.
No, actually, astrology does not work like this. Like you are trying to relate I mean, you're trying to find Vastu doshas with the astrology,
Okay, yeah,
right?
okay,
So that is not how it works. So
okay,
because, for example, if you move into a new house, right, the washrooms, the kitchens, the overhead tanks, everything is going to change, but your
correct.
horoscope is not going to change, right?
Ah, okay,
So
yeah,
from horoscope, what we can take is like, for example, if you would need to, identify the ideal place for a kitchen. So,
okay.
in that case, we can take the Ashtaka Varga score of Mars and Moon of the ladies who are gonna cook into the kitchen for most of the time,
Oh, I see.
right? If we are building a library for, ourselves in a room. So, for example, if you are building a library for
Yeah,
yourself in a house, so in that case, we're gonna take the Ashtaka Varga score of Mercury,
Oh, I see.
from your
Okay.
chart to correlate, right? If you are, building bedrooms for your children, so then in that case, we're gonna, consider and use the Ashtaka Varga of the Mercury of your children,
Okay.
or Jupiter for your children, in order to get the ideal direction of the bedrooms. So
Okay.
this is how we take the inputs from Jyotish to Vastu,
Okay. And
because
anything,
everybody is not same,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
For
yeah.
some people, you've seen, north facing homes are very good, and for some people, you see north facing homes are not good. People say, I live in a south facing home, south facing home is very good. And on the other hand, people say, one should never take a south facing home, it is always unlucky, and things like that. Even I live in a south facing home.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if your Lagna gives good score to the south direction, you can definitely live in a south facing home. The Ashtak
I
Varga score
see.
of your Lagna is highest in the south direction, then definitely you can have a south facing home. So that is how we take the inputs from Jyotish, from astrology to Vastu, to make it more accurate, to make it more personalized, so that people cannot say, ये चीज मुझे नहीं सूट की, या फिर this thing does not suits me. So
Hmm.
that is how the personalization part comes into the play.
Okay, and many times people like viewers of astrology wonder about the fourth house because the fourth house is the house of the home in astrology, like the physical part, not the family. So,
Yeah.
any insights on that? Like you spoke on Ashtak Varga, but the fourth house specifically?
See, specifically, fourth house does not, hold any importance with the construction or the physical. See, fourth house can, say that, you're gonna have a big house, a luxurious house, or an
Yeah.
average house, a
Oh,
small house, depending upon the dashas and the planetary placements. But then, if you say that, we can identify the placements of the elements, like for example, kitchen or drawing room or living room, or how your drawing room would be looking like, or how your living room would be looking like, we cannot relate that from the fourth house.
okay, 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 great. And regarding so you said the Ashtak Varga scores actually matter. So now, depending on that, we can personalize it and make it a bit specific, like South, for example, as you said.
Absolutely.
And what about like Northeast, as you said, that is the most important. So if somebody's Ashtak Varga scores don't favor that, then how does that work?
See, Ashtak Varga score gives the importance to only four cardinal directions, which is north, south,
Okay.
west, and east. So,
Okay.
that's it. So, but we have 16 directions. So, out
Correct.
of all those 16 directions, there was one diagonal that I spoke about, northwest, Brahmastan, and southwest.
Yes.
So that it's a different thing. So, that is why there is no remedy of that, this excess in the Vastu Shastra. So,
Okay.
but from the Ashtak Varga score, we can have the only four cardinal directions from this. Or somehow, sometimes what we can do is, for example, sometimes somebody buys an already constructed home, all right,
Yeah.
and the bedroom for that person comes into the northwest corner. In that case, we will check the Ashtak Varga score of north and the west direction. If that is equal, or that score does not make a huge difference, then it means the northwest axis also support that person. I mean, that energies. That person can definitely have a room in that axis as well.
Okay.
See, I
Okay.
mean, obviously, it is always the four directions, and when we divide those four directions, then it comes the eight directions, and then we divide further those eight directions, then it comes the 16 directions. And
Correct.
after that, when we divide it again, then it comes the 32 entrances of the Vastu.
Okay. Quite
Every
quite
four
detailed.
cardinal directions has eight padas of a particular entrance. So out of those eight padas, there's always two or three padas which are the most important one for the entrances as well.
Okay. And what about this Brahmasthan? Is it like what is it? What's the importance? Like, is it like the center?
Absolutely. See, Brahmasthan, a lot of people have a lot of fear or confusions or a lot of
Okay.
questions, regarding the Brahmasthan is in Vastu. So I always get a lot of questions about Brahmasthan. See,
Hmm.
Brahmasthan is the epicenter, the mid place of a house. So when we, grid a map and we do the dissection of the map, the center point is the Brahmasthan. See, Brahmasthan is a place from which all the energies are, you know, released and they then, move into the house. So if there are 16 directions, there are 16 attributes, and every attribute have different energy. So Brahmasthan is that epicenter where all the energies are released, they are produced, and then further they rotate into the house. So if the Brahmasthan of your house is imbalanced or it has any anti element over there, all the energies in your house is going to be destroyed.
Oh,
All the positive energies as well, they will be destroyed. So there are also some particular protocols for the Brahmasthan as well. Brahmasthan should always be empty. There should be no heavy spaces, no heavy tables, no heavy walls, no washrooms, no kitchens inside, on the Brahmasthan. So having, these stuffs on the Brahmasthan, it will make a lot of problems, specifically health problems.
okay.
Having a dosha in Brahmasthan can give you a lot of digestive issues, a lot of heart problems.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, in Canada, America, in the western part, I've seen, people building kitchens in the Brahmasthana. So, like, whenever you enter into their house, the kitchen is always in the center with the, island kind of a table, and, they are cooking and sitting and eating over there. So, having a kitchen in Brahmastan or having staircase in Brahmastan or having a wall in Brahmastan is one of the biggest Vastu dosha. And again, there is no remedy for that. The only remedy is to remove it. In olden times, you must have seen, in big, big houses,
Yeah.
the construction was done on the corners,
Side.
the
Yeah.
edges.
Yeah.
In the
Yes.
center, there was always a park, a ground, or a grass on which there was always tulsi ma planted.
Correct.
There is
Correct.
always tulsi. I mean, in old movies, you must have seen such kinds of constructions.
Yes. Yes.
So in Brahmastan, it is always, suggested or recommended to keep it empty, and you should allow the sunlight to come into the Brahmasthana, and the best part is to have a tulsi in the Brahmasthana.
Okay. Okay. So then one last question for today I would have for you. If somebody comes to you and says, sir, I have problems in my profession, or I'm not growing, or whatever, I'm losing money, or I'm not getting promotion, there's some problem. So how would you deal with that person? Like, will you like go to his house and see, and of course look at his horoscope? So what would be your approach?
See, first of all, I would need to identify that what particular problem are they facing. I mean, do they want to upgrade their position into the job? They want promotion, but they're not getting it, and then, if somebody is into the business and they say that, my business is not converting into the sales. I mean, I have a lot of stock ready, but the stock is not, going away. I'm
Ah,
not able to
okay.
sell my stock.
Mm,
And then, then there is a problem when, everything is okay, you are earning money, the stock is going fine, the conversions are okay, but then you're not able to hold on to that money,
mm,
right? There are a lot of losses. I mean, someday, there's a problem in a machinery, then the other day, some equipment got broken, and then the other day some, stock, it got ruined. So I mean, we need to identify, what the problem is. Based on that particular problem, then we take the call to the action.
okay. Okay.
Depending upon a particular problem, then we look at to the attribute which needs to be managed, and from that we identify that what part or what attribute is destroyed of that premises.
Okay, okay. So then you will primarily go and check the house, and after talking to the person, you will see where is the problem basically.
Absolutely correct.
Okay. And just curious, one question came to my mind, like, does Vastu have anything to do with the age of the house? Like, if a house is like 10 years old or like 50 years, 100 years old, so does it mean some things can change, or it's always the same?
No, it's always the same until and unless your house is built completely fine. I mean, it does not have any major Vastu dosha. Like I said, in the north and northeast and southwest axis, unless you don't have a major Vastu dosha over there, it is completely fine. I mean, the house can be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. It doesn't matter.
Okay, and if there are like in the walls, if there are cracks or something, like, or maybe if the foundation is a bit, because if it's very old, so then, but that's a separate problem, or I mean, it's not a major Vastu problem, but it can still have some other issues. Like,
Yeah, see, it's a different issue, right? For example, every house has an age, right? But that has nothing
okay,
to do with the Vastu. So if you see,
right.
that how your house is being very old, and then there are a lot of cracks in the walls, then obviously, I mean, you should get it repaired. But then on the other hand, Vastu does not have any role with that. I mean, the house can be 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 100 years old. Unless there is no Vastu dosha in that premises, or there are no negative land energies in that area, that house is completely fine.
Okay, so generally when people say, oh, the walls are like cracking or there are cobwebs, so that's not a Vastu problem, basically.
I mean, that do brings the negative energies. The
Yeah,
call to action for that problem is to get it repaired as
yeah,
soon as possible. But
correct.
then unless, it does not have any Vastu dosha, it is completely fine.
Okay, I see. Okay, interesting. Well, thank you so much. It was very enlightening for me. First time I got to learn so much about Vastu, and it's very interesting because the energies that are around us, we don't feel it sometimes. Some of us feel it.
No,
And
actually,
we're very
I'll tell you how Vastu works. See, you watch a good movie, you're happy, right?
yeah,
Then if you watch at the same time, if you watch an emotional movie, you get sad or gloomy. Then if you watch a violent movie, your mindset becomes violent.
yeah.
That the changes happening in your mind is because of the visual contact,
Hmm.
right? You see something violent, you get violent. You see something sad, you get gloomy. Vastu are the energies, which you cannot see, but then if it is not balanced, it can, make a difference on your cognitive skills or the cognitive working. For
Oh,
example, if there is a toilet in the northeast,
hmm.
you'll not be able to see, but the cognitive energies, the energy flows which is going into your cognitive mind, that are being destroyed.
Okay.
You'll lack the mental clarity. So Vastu is affecting the cognitive working of a person.
Okay.
So Vastu, you'll not be able to see it, but at the end, it would affect your cognitive functioning, how you think, how you speak, how you behave. You know, these are the things which Vastu hits.
And if a person changes his residence and goes to a place where
Mhm.
the Vastu is bad, then the results are like very immediate from the very next day. I mean, hypothetically, theoretically, from the very next day, it will start working negatively for him.
Correct, correct. I mean, it can also depend on a particular Vastu dosha. Like if it is a big Vastu dosh, it can be very quick. The negative impacts can be very quick and very harsh. And if the doshas are not very big, and then we ignore it and then keep going with it, then it can have a slow impact, but definitely it will have an impact on you. You must have seen that people, they are flourishing in a house. So for example, they built a small house, right? They are earning good, they're doing good, and then once they've achieved a certain level, they move on to the next house, the bigger
Yeah.
house. And when
Yeah.
they move into that bigger house, they do not see the same amount of exponential growth in their careers, in their life, in their relationships, which they used to have in that smaller house.
Okay.
Why is it? It is because the vastu of the new place is changed. There are some particular things which need to be rectified, due to which you have those changes in your relationships, in your career, your health.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you so much for all the detailed information that you shared. And for the viewers, please, I'm sure you loved this video. If you are here till the end, and please hit the thumbs up to show your appreciation for him, and please visit his YouTube channel and his website for consultations, and also his Instagram page. I will pin all the details in the description section. And please, most importantly, comment below and say what you liked about the video. And if you would like to see him again, which many of you would like for sure, then please write it down that yes, please bring him back, but this time with this topic. And whichever topic has the most number of comments, we will select it, and maybe we can have a recording again. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.